able to attend. And please feel free to unmute and ask any questions you have as we go through this information this morning. If you guys stop and think about it, you're already almost through your first year of grad school. That's so exciting, and I'm really happy for you guys. You've already got a big part of the hard part out of the way. I know when you first started, things were pretty overwhelming with coursework and starting your job if you hadn't been working in the school system before. So, um, congratulations. This is a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the information we have for you this morning. And like I said, anytime I'm at home. I took an annual leave day today, so I don't have my two screens. So I cannot see the chat box. So please just stop me at any time if you have a question. That's why we're here this morning, is to try to answer your questions and make sure everybody's clear on everything that's going to be happening. This is my contact information. So anything you need to US mail to me, or if you need to email me anything, use that email address. And please feel free to reach out to me anytime. I always tell people if I don't respond within like 48 hours, please just send it again, because my email, for one thing, if I open one, then another one beside it will look like I've read it when I really haven't. I try to be really careful with that, but sometimes I miss them. Since you're getting ASHA CEUs, I just have to talk about the disclosure, employed by the Department of Ed. We're going to be talking about first class permits this morning, as well as MOUs, stipends, and the required paperwork for the end of the year. I know that you guys have heard and have been talking about the first class permits.
Leanne,
Yes, ma'am.
do you mean to have your screen shared?
Yes, I do. I am so thankful you said something. Thank you. Let's see. Let's start this again. Okay. Yeah, we'll try it again. Thanks so much. Whoops. What to do? All right. Now, can you see it?
We can see your screen. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go on here. Oh, pickle. All right. So we've already talked about the agenda. Now we're going to talk about the first class permits. I know you guys heard about them. Oh, my goodness. And Libby said, you were asking questions about them. There are a couple of things I want you to know about them, and a couple of things I want you to consider about them. Honestly, we're going to be talking to certification, our certification department, and potentially changing the percentage of graduate school you have to have complete before you can go on first class permit. If you look at our website, psychologists and counselors have to have 75% of their coursework completed. I think we're going to try to raise ours up to at least 50%, but you guys are going to be able to get it at 25%. When I talked to Dr. Moore from WVU, she said that by the time you finish this summer semester, you'll have 36% of your coursework complete. And that is an awful lot, but because of the scope of practice of our field, there is so much still to go over. We just want to make sure that you're comfortable and that you feel prepared to practice independently. And so that's the reason we're just going to go through some of the considerations this morning. And the big thing of it is your county has to approve you being on first class permit. You can't just go in and tell them, hey, I want to be on first class permit. They're the ones who determine that. And so I'm going to be talking to directors on Monday. But I wanted to talk to you and your supervisors before I talk to them, in case there were any other concerns or any things you wanted me to relay that I didn't know about already. So the nice thing about being on first class permit is they do not have to re-advertise your job each year. And having that job security is a great thing. I understand that. There may be a salary increase, and I apologize. I tried to contact the person who could help answer that question for me, and they're on vacation this week. And I tried to look it up like on our pay scale, on the Department of Ed pay scale, but because of the way this, that first class permit is termed, I'm really not sure if there is a pay raise or not. So I just wanted to put on here that there may be one, and we'll find that out for you. And your superintendent of your county has to sign off that you're the best candidate for the job and for you to be able to go on first class permit. With the first class permit, WVU has to verify that you completed at least 25% of your grad work. This is a hyperlink to the form. It is a paper application, so you'll follow the paper application directions on our website. And you have 5 years to complete your degree once you're on permit. What's happened in the past is there have been some people who've taken all their coursework, gotten their master's degree, but did not pass the praxis. And so that's just important for you to understand if that would happen. There are just some people who have test anxiety. It certainly wasn't that they weren't prepared or anything other than the test anxiety. And so you have 5 years to be able to take it and pass it before you would have to go back on SLPA authorization. As an SLPA as an SLP, because that's what you'll become, as an SLP on permit, you don't have to be supervised. But the question you need to ask yourself is, do you feel ready? And that's going to be a different answer for each of you. And there is absolutely no shame in saying that you're not. You should be honest. And the thing of it is too, is I can't tell you if you're ready because I don't know your caseload. I don't know your skill set. I don't know, your county and their procedures. And I don't know what kind of support you have. But that's just one of the things I want you to be thinking about. You don't have to follow a supervision plan. You don't have to follow the DUSA forms. You don't have to do any of that. But you do still have to complete your 12 hours of professional development because that's a requirement for every SLP in the state, not just you guys. You can practice independently doing evaluations and IEP meetings. But think to yourself, are you ready to do that? You sign your contract once a year. So, like I said, if your county determines that you're maybe not ready, they don't want to put you on permit yet, then you would continue another year as an SLPA. And then the next year you could change to the permit. Usually they just do them once a year. Some counties I know in the past have gone ahead and said, okay, we're going to switch mid-year, but that's totally up to your special ed director. But I just, I've heard, I had a debrief with WVU a couple of weeks ago, and one of the concerns that they mentioned was that some of you guys had been telling them that you've been conducting your own evaluations and your own IEP meetings. And as an SLPA, that is definitely out of your scope of practice. So if that's been happening, I just talked to your supervisors and told them it shouldn't have been. And I don't have any names or counties, so it's just a general statement. But if you go on permit, you will be doing those things on your own. This is just another hyperlink, and it gives you a picture of what the form looks like, so you'll know. And one of the things that Libby suggested, and I think it's a good one, is that you use some of the forms in the SLPA guidance document when you're trying to determine whether or not you're ready to go on permit. One of those documents is the SLP a self-evaluation. So you can complete that and answer those questions honestly. Just do it for yourself and see what you think. There's also a form that your supervisor can fill out, and it talks about the levels of supervision and instruction that they've had to provide to you. And so if you're scoring in the 4s and 5s, then that does show that you're, ready to do some more independent practice. If you're not, that shows that based on your caseload and the difficulty of your caseload and that kind of thing, that you might need some more support. And like I said, everybody's journey on that is going to be different. But it's just what you're comfortable with that we're concerned about. Providing feedback to your supervisor is helpful too, because that way it lets them know what you'd like to see from them, how much support, more support you need from them than you've been getting. And I think that's really some important feedback to provide. I know each of your situations is different, and I know that some supervisors may be more willing to hear that and look at that than others. But I'm hoping that your county has really selected a supervisor for you who is supportive and willing to support, willing to provide supervision for you in the manner that we hope is being provided everywhere, and give you that support that you need. But this is a nice structured way to provide that information to them. So, just some questions to ask yourself about going on permit. Um, you be independent, or do you feel like you're independent as an SLPA? Have you had opportunities to observe and assist with evaluations? Are you ready to look at evaluation results and make a decision and write IEP goals and make placement decisions as far as amount of time and LRE and that kind of thing? Are you knowledgeable about writing IEPs? Have you had experience using the online IEP? And if you haven't, don't feel bad, because actually the program is going to be changing this summer. You might have heard talk in your counties about WVUS 2.0, and the WVUS is the Educational Instructional System for West Virginia. As they've updated that, information from WVUS automatically goes in and pre-populates your information in on an online IEP and the fillable forms. So they had to update that program too. There are some big changes, and everybody in the fall is going to be getting online IEP training. So just remember that you're going to be on an even playing field with everybody when that one comes along. And can you develop your own schedule? I know scheduling at the beginning of the year was very difficult. Um, and are you ready to talk with parents and staff on by yourself? I think that there are considerations that need to be made as you go through this. And what I'm going to be asking the special ed directors, and what I just asked your supervisors, was even though you don't have to fill out the supervision plans and the DUSA forms and all those things, I would still like for you to have supervision and a contact person, so that, if you get into a situation where you have a student assigned to your caseload that you're really not sure what to do with, or if you've given some diagnostic tests and you've scored everything and you're looking at the information and you're really not sure how to write the goals, that you have a person that you can go to. One of the things that the county is responsible for doing, and they signed that they would do in the MOU, is providing supervision for you. So I'm going to ask them to still have a contact person for you. It's just, I want you to understand that they're not going to be there 20% of the week, or 10% now probably for direct and 10% indirect. And there'll be a contact person that you can reach out to when you need them. And like I said, there are still people that I reach out to if I have questions about things. I still have my mentors and that kind of thing that I reach out to. So um, there's nothing wrong with that. We should. You're not expected to know everything independently about our scope of practice. Our scope of practice is too huge. It really is. And so please know that you need to think about the knowledge and skills that you have and the ethical considerations with ASHA, as far as, if you're treating someone, you need to be knowledgeable about that treatment. And then weighing that against administration pressures. I know that when some special ed directors hear about being able to put you on first class permit and not requiring, as much supervision as you had to have as an SLPA, that's going to look really good to them. And I understand why. They've been trying to fill positions and make sure that all the students receive the services they need all year long. And I know that the contractors are probably in about 40 of the 55 counties. So this is going to look very good to them. And But I do know too that they have your best interest in heart too. They want to support you because they want you to stay in that county when you finish your degree. So just weigh all those things in your schedule to the caseload that you're going to have. Weigh all of those things together when you get ready to make that decision about going on permit. It's not something that has to happen. And like I said, there's absolutely no shame in staying on authorization, SLPA authorization for one more year. You guys are going to be the only cohort that's going through the WVU system. I think that's going to go through with the 25%. We're going to try to get that changed. So before we go on to the MOU, are there any questions about the first class permit? I will also send you Brad Fitro's contact information. He is the one who helps with first class permits. I wanted to have him on the call this morning, but he is on vacation. So if we need him next month, you guys just put that in the comment box and I'll be glad to make arrangements for him to be here. I don't see anything in the comments, so because I can't see them and I'm not hearing any questions, so I will just move ahead.
Leanne,
Uh-huh.
sorry, did you say when is this due? And did you have a link that had information about this if we do want to apply for that? When is the time frame for applying?
Your SLPA authorization is going to run out June 30th. I think that's when it runs out. Yeah, that should be right. June 30th. And so you'll have to apply for it, this summer, so that it can be processed and everything will be ready for the fall. So between now and June 30th, you have time to think about it, and like I said, too, your county has to offer it to you. You can't go in and demand that they put you on permit. So just remember that too. As far as the link, here's a hyperlink, and I will post the PowerPoints, or I can email them to you. That's fine too. But this is a hyperlink to the form. This is what it looks like. And like I said, it's a paper form, so you're going to follow the paper form directions. And there's a cost for applying for it. I think it's $35, and that can be done online. And this is another hyperlink to it. So that should be all the information you need to get to it. And like I said, too, your county will probably start that for you because they have to have the superintendent sign off that you have finished your coursework. And then you'll turn it in to the Department of Ed, and they will send it on to WVU to have WVU sign off. Your superintendent signs off that you're the best candidate for the job. I apologize. WVU signs off that you've completed that 25%. Okay. Any other questions about that? Okay. As far as the memorandum of understanding, I know there was one county that reached out a couple weeks ago and said they hadn't seen this before. They've received it now. Is there anyone else who wants to get the stipend who has not signed this? If you don't want to receive the stipend, then there's another memorandum of understanding for you to get signed, but it is it's a little different. So is there anyone who still has not signed this memo? It's uploaded into your Teams group if you need it, and I also told your supervisors about that as well. As far as the stipends, I've gotten several questions about the stipends. One of the things about the stipends is that you have to have that memorandum of understanding, and it says that you, by taking this money, you agree to work within your county for a year upon graduation. You have to pass all your coursework. So people were asking if I could send it sooner, but until those grades are posted and we know that you've passed it, I'm not allowed. Our department is not allowed to give the grants to the counties. So I checked WV schedules yesterday, and it looks like your finals are the week that finish on the 6th of May. So our finance coordinator is getting everything ready to go to the counties so that when the time comes, we'll be ready to send it on to the counties. Typically, we'd send that June 1st, but now he's willing to do it earlier. So there's a form. At first, I was trying to figure out how to make it as easy as possible for you guys to let me know that you're applying for the stipend itself and not just the MOU. because the MOU has things too, like a reduced caseload that they'll provide a supervisor and all that. So I don't think having a supervisor during your time, as if you do switch to first class permit, is going to be a big issue. But anyway, that's all part of the MOU. I'm going to just create a simple form for you, your supervisor, and special ed director to sign that says you're requesting the stipend. The nice thing about having your special ed director sign that is it's a reminder to them that they need to get the county process ready to get that check cut for you. I'm going to talk to them about that Monday too, because we want to make that as smooth as possible. And some of them have never done this before, so we'll work with them to get that ready. So everything should be in the money. Should be in the county and ready for release by June 1st. And then that way, hopefully you'll have your check by then, if not earlier. If I find out that there are any problems with any specific counties, I will let you know. But right now, I don't anticipate any. These are just forms that Libby wanted me to remind you that need to be turned in. It's your verification form. And if you're staying on first class permit, if you're staying on SLPA authorization, I cannot renew your authorization until I have this form in. It's in policy that we have to have it. I can't bypass it. I've had to track people down in the summers, and I've had to track them down with their special ed directors, and that's usually not very fun. And I've had to have certification department hold applications so people don't have to pay to reapply. So please, please, please just try to get everything in by June 1st so that there won't be an issue, no matter which way you determine to go. And even if you're going on first class permit, you need to have that verification report finished for this year, because it's a requirement for this year while you're on SLPA authorization. Don't forget to turn in, upload to the shared folder, and follow your county policy. This is just verification report. The professional development, you guys, we gave permission to count one of your courses as your 12 hours of professional development. So you're just going to, and this is just a reminder about what counts and what doesn't. But what I did was just come up with a form that I titled Professional Development Memorandum. It's in your Teams group. And you just have to scan and email or US mail that one by the 1st of June. I'm just going to have you upload that to the shared folder. And that way I have proof that you signed off that you used that coursework for it. It's very simple. You just put your name, the name of the course, the date, and sign it. Very simple. But that way you have a confirmation just like everybody else does in their shared folder. And then just make sure that the DUSA is attached when you upload your verification report, and make sure that you have that special education director's signature and your supervisors. We will send this form back if that special ed director hasn't signed off on it. And we can't release the checks. We can't do anything until we get that turned in. This is just a reminder about the DUSA to be sure you put dates and not just check marks. And save that in the shared folder. For your verification of attendance, I'm going to post that in the chat in just a second. The deadline to do that is Monday at 11:45. I'm going to post the link right now. Please check your responses. Libby has everything set up on Power Automate. And if there's one letter off or one symbol off on your email address, it messes up the whole system. So please be sure to double check that before you turn it in. And also, please be sure to fill out any questions that you have, any concerns that you have, because we go through these. We read each and every one of them. We take them to heart. We try to change things and make them better because of them. We eliminate things that we are trying, that we're doing that are making things difficult for you. So please take the time to complete those. And this is just, again, saying the same thing. I'm going to put the link in the chat box now, but remember the QR codes are for people who are going to be watching this later. I'm going to go ahead and show this for a second so they'll have access to the QR code. And the deadline for turning that in is May 2nd at 11:45. And then their references. While I'm posting that chat, that link for the QR code in the chat. Do we have any questions or concerns? I know that was an awful lot of information in half an hour, but a lot of the forums information you guys have already heard from Libby before. So I know this first year has been, there have been some times that, things have been kind of intense. But please know that you can reach out to us anytime that you need support if things aren't going right. And please, just know that we're here to support you too. I know you've had great support from the WVU supervisors, and I hope everything's gone well with that. And like I said, it's your decision based on your individual skills and the county's decision as far as how they want to handle things. But it's exciting that you're getting to the point that you're ready to practice independently. And congratulations to all of you for that. Where's the MOU located in Teams? It should be under files. If it's not, then I know that I uploaded that new form, the memorandum for the professional development. If it's not in your Teams under files, I'll upload it as soon as we get off this call. And what will happen, what you'll do is just download it and have it signed. Any other questions? Like I said, you can unmute. I'm not seeing anything in the chat, and I don't see anyone typing, and I'm not hearing anything, so I'm going to stop the recording. I will get that